Welcome to Brian's Table, a food, wellness, and lifestyle channel. Today we're going to make tomato sauce. Yes, we are going to elevate the humble tomato sauce and make it into something a little bit more special. This is a handy sauce that is great on pastas and pizza and anywhere where you want to have a really flavorful tomato sauce. I also use it in Mexican dishes, for example. Also, I use it in chili. This is a super handy sauce that's great to have around. It keeps in the fridge nicely for at least a week and it freezes beautifully. And it's just super easy just to take out and to turn a weeknight meal into something super special. This recipe is one that I've adapted from Evan Kleinman. She is of KCRW's Good Food fame, and super simple, but I've adjusted a few things to make it just a little easier for the home cook. This recipe uses canned tomatoes, which are always readily available at your supermarket. But it can be easily adapted for fresh tomatoes. And if they are in season and they peak freshness, go with that. It may just require a little extra work of blanching and peeling and de-seeding your tomatoes, but whenever you got fresh and local, always go with that. So what makes this recipe elevated? Well, I use San Marzano tomatoes. They are delicious and they are stronger in flavor, sweeter and less acidic than regular canned tomatoes. A little bit of a background on the San Marzano tomatoes. They do come from Italy. They are from the Campania region, so towards the tip of the boot on the south side of the country, on the slopes of Mount Vesuvius. So there's all that lava-rich soil that's adding to the flavor of these tomatoes. The other thing about these tomatoes, a little bit of history too, they are the tomato that was used to develop the standard Roma tomato, which are easily found in supermarkets around the world. An interesting fact about the San Marzano tomato was that they came to Italy as a gift from the Viceroy of Peru in 1770. The other reason why I do love the San Marzano tomatoes is that they do have what is referred to as a geographic marker, the DOP. And I know that my Italian sucks, so I'm going to read to you what the DOP means. A DOP is a protected designation of origin. And the DOP label guarantees that your favorite ingredient is produced, processed, and packaged in a specific geographical zone and according to tradition. I do like using products with the DOP. Even though I would always emphasize to use the freshest and most local ingredients you can get, there's a lot of lessons to learn from these DOPs and these geographic certifications. They are specifically designed to get the best possible flavor and quality out of produce. And I think that any jurisdiction in the world could benefit from that. So try to use those products that respect the origin of the product itself and also to make sure that it's grown in the best possible way. If you don't have access to San Marzano tomatoes, you can always use a regular Italian peel tomato, basically Roma tomatoes in a can, or if you're a little bit lazy, you can always use crushed tomatoes. It all just means that you have to add a few little other flavor enhancers at the end once you're done to make sure that whatever you're going to use it in is going to deliver the flavors that you want off of a basic tomato sauce. In addition to tomatoes, all the other ingredients are readily available within your pantry. Olive oil, salt and pepper, dried chilies, dried chili peppers, and garlic. Let's start with the olive oil. Use as good a quality olive oil as you're comfortable using. Don't use a really fancy olive oil. Fancy olive oils are meant for two things: finishing a dish by adding a drizzle of olive oil, or in salad dressing where you really want to have that flavor of olive oil coming through. You're going to be cooking with this, so use a good quality olive oil, and I'd also encourage you to make sure that you're getting the real stuff. Read the label, again, double check to see if that geographic marker is on there, and I'd also recommend you to even try different olive oils from different countries. You know, because again, change your olive oil, you change the flavor of the tomato sauce. You know, some of the better quality olive oils surprisingly come from places like Chile and Australia, where they have very stringent rules for the production of olive oil. The next one is chili. I'm a big fan of bird's eye chilies. They bring a lovely, fruity flavor as well as the right amount of spice. Just going to require a couple of these, and they're just going to totally punch up that tomato flavor in the sauce. If you can't get the bird's eye chilies, we also have just a straight up red chili flakes, and they work just as well. Just a pinch would do. Garlic. Good old store-bought garlic. If you want more garlic flavor, just add another couple of cloves. But another alternative, freeze-dried garlic. And I'm gonna guess that some people may be thinking you can use garlic powder. Don't recommend it. Two reasons. One is you're never too sure how fresh that garlic powder is. It's great for rubs and whatnot, but really, when you want to make tomato sauce, fresh garlic is the best. The other reason is that it is bitter. And when you add bitterness to your sauce, where you want to be able to have this wonderful, rich, tomatoey flavor, you don't want to have powdered garlic bringing something that breaks up the harmony of those flavors in your mouth. Okay, salt. I love and recommend using sea salt. But I also recommend only using just a little bit, because who knows how you're going to be using this tomato sauce, and you could always add salt later. The other aspect of sea salt, which I like, is that if you're going to be using it with a pasta or with pizza, those dishes usually call for using sea salt in there, and there's that good old Italian saying that when you're making pasta, the pasta water needs to be as salty as the Mediterranean. And to me, the Mediterranean is a sea, so I'm going to use sea salt to complement those flavors. Let's get on with the recipe. One of the keys to this tomato sauce is actually a very unique piece of equipment, a heat diffuser. This one is by Ilsa, readily available online. It's cast iron. It just diffuses the heat nicely and takes care of any of those odd spots that cause your tomato sauce to burn. It also allows you to cook this thing super slowly, so that way you can actually pack the flavor into the tomato sauce and get it nicely concentrated and maximize that tomato flavor. Once you have everything prepared, the recipe is fairly simple. Well known fact, you could also use your can opener in a different way. Let me show you. Here we go. After you open your canned tomatoes, just throw them into a steel, glass, or ceramic bowl. Now we want to crush them. There's two ways to crush them. One is using the good old potato masher, like this. And the other way, which is a favorite of mine, is to abandon the masher altogether and to get in there and crush it with your hands. This way you get a really good feel of how the texture of the tomatoes, and you can ensure you're getting that rustic element that you're looking for. So the first thing that you have to do when you get to the stove is to put your heat diffuser on. And the reason for that is when you take your pot off with your tomato sauce and you want to slow cook it, you want to have the heat diffuser ready to accept the pot. And let's get that nice and hot. Remember, hot pot, cold oil. You just put your hand over the pot until it just starts to become uncomfortable. That's when you know the pot's at the right temperature. Next thing you do is you add oil to coat the bottom. And you actually do use a lot of olive oil in here. You want to be able to coat the bottom. And as you can see here, the oil is just starting to bubble and it's starting to shimmer. And it's ready to accept the garlic and chili. As you can see, the garlic is nicely bubbling. Always add a little extra olive oil if you want to get it ultra rich. Richness to tomato sauce is always welcome. See how the garlic is just starting to turn brown? There you go. See how nice and blistered the garlic is becoming? Alright, garlic is just brown. Oil is just starting to smoke. It's ready to take the tomatoes. Here's a little tip. Always take your tomatoes and pour them away from you. They are going to bubble and it is going to spot. As you can see, I have a bit of a little oil slick on there, but by the time the tomato sauce is fully cooked, that olive oil will be well integrated into the sauce. So what you want to do at this point is bring it up to the point where it's starting to bubble. One of the key things about a lot of Italian food is you got to taste every ingredient. So here, just based on the simplicity of what we're doing here, you will pick up those garlic and chili notes. Just for a little bit of light seasoning, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper. Always fresh ground. Give that a stir as we are almost ready to move it over to the diffuser. Right now the texture is quite liquid, and with the slow cooking it will become way more saucy and rich and thick and bring out that nice umami character. You put on your lid, move to the heat diffuser, and I'm going to put that down to low. The reason why I do this is so I could keep eating things like that. It's been a couple minutes, so I want to show you. The stove is on low, and because I have the heat diffuser, we primed it. Look at the heat that you get off of that alone, and it gives it a lovely, gentle simmer, which is going to boil off a lot of the water and give you a lovely consistency to the sauce. Okay, let's check in on our tomato sauce. It's been just over an hour and a half. Look at that color of the olive oil. It's taken on a little reddish hue, and the smell here is amazing. One thing that you want to do before you use the sauce is to take out the chili peppers. And yes, I have tweezers. One chili pepper. This way it just ensures that the chili flavor stays here and you're not going to get any rude awakenings in any of your sauces because there's a rogue chili pepper in it. You want to leave the garlic in. The garlic is going to get nice and soft and will blend into any sauce that you're going to be using. And adds that deliciousness that garlic always brings, but with a much more mellow taste because it's given of its garlic goodness to the sauce, while at the same point poached in the sauce at the same time. So what I love to do is, as you can see, you got that lovely shimmering olive oil in there mixed in with the tomato sauce. And I just keep it in one of these mason jars. There you go. And that there, my friends, by the time you clean off the top, you have lovely, delicious tomato sauce ready to be used in pasta, pizza, or wherever you need tomato sauce. I hope you give this a try. Let me know how it works out. And in the comments below, let me know what you do to make your tomato sauce special and super flavorful. I look forward to hearing from that. If you like what you're seeing here, please subscribe. And in the meantime, keep maximizing life's small pleasures.
Because I know sometimes it'll make people even more nervous if they're getting feedback.
Oh no, like I know I'm on the royal fail of the first one.
Okay, good.